In the heart of downtown Los Angeles stands an old hotel, its walls worn by decades of secrets, its halls echoing with whispers of tragedy. The Cecil Hotel, once considered a glamorous stop for travelers in the 1920s, had long since decayed into something far more sinister. Over the years, it became known as a place of crime, death, and mystery. Within its faded red brick structure, countless stories of despair unfolded, suicides, murders, and strange disappearances. But among them all, one case stands above the rest. One story that continues to haunt the internet, fascinate investigators, and disturb anyone who dares to look deeper. It is the mystery of Elisa Lam, a young woman whose disappearance and death turned the Cecil Hotel into a modern legend of horror. Elisa Lam was just 21 years old in January of 2013, a Canadian college student who decided to take a solo trip to California. She was bright, curious, and eager to explore the world outside of her classroom. Like many young people of her generation, she kept a blog, a place where she wrote her thoughts, fears, and dreams. Through her words, one could sense her vulnerability, but also her determination to live life fully. She boarded a plane from Vancouver and set out on her journey, stopping in San Diego before making her way north to Los Angeles. And it was there, in the sprawling, chaotic heart of the city, that she checked into the Cecil Hotel. At first glance, the hotel might have seemed like an affordable choice for a young traveler. Located on Main Street, its rates were low, and it catered to backpackers and tourists looking for budget accommodations. But to those who knew its history, the hotel carried a chilling reputation. It had been the site of gruesome murders, the home of serial killers, and the stage for countless suicides. Guests had leapt to their deaths from its windows. Others had been found dead inside its rooms. The Cecil had earned its dark nickname, the Suicide Hotel, and still, unaware or unbothered by its past, Elisa booked her stay there. She checked in on January 26, 2013. At first, Elisa shared a room with other travelers, but her behavior soon led the hotel to move her to a private room. According to reports, she had exhibited strange actions that unsettled her roommates. No one could say for certain what she had done, but it was unusual enough that the hotel staff intervened. Alone in her room, Elisa continued her exploration of Los Angeles, visiting bookstores, cafes, and tourist attractions. She called her parents every day, staying in touch with them as she always did, but on January 31, the calls stopped. That was the day Elisa vanished. Her parents, worried when she failed to check in, contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. The search for Elisa began almost immediately, and detectives scoured the hotel for any sign of her. Flyers went up, the media picked up the story, and soon her name was everywhere. But inside the Cecil, the walls kept their silence. Guests and staff alike claimed they had seen nothing unusual. Days passed, then weeks, and then investigators made a discovery that would both shock the world and deepen the mystery forever. The LAPD released a piece of surveillance footage taken from one of the hotel's elevators. It showed Elisa on the night of her disappearance. The footage was grainy, the colors distorted, but what it captured was unforgettable. Elisa stepped into the elevator, pressing multiple buttons on the panel. The doors did not close. She peeked out into the hallway, then quickly darted back inside. She pressed herself against the wall, hiding as if someone were following her. Then she moved out again, waving her hands in strange, almost unnatural motions. She stepped in and out of the elevator repeatedly, her gestures frantic, her expression unsettled. And then, after a final moment, she walked away down the hall. The elevator doors finally closed. The video went viral, spreading across the internet like wildfire. Millions of people watched it, analyzing every frame, every movement, searching for clues. Some believed Elisa was playing a game, like the so-called elevator game from Korean urban legend, in which pressing buttons in a certain sequence could transport someone to another world. Others thought she was being pursued, hiding from someone unseen outside the camera's view. Many suggested she was experiencing a mental health episode, a break from reality. But whatever the explanation, one fact remained. After that night, Elisa was never seen alive again. For nearly 3 weeks, her fate was unknown. Guests at the Cecil Hotel began complaining about water pressure, about the color and taste of the tap water. Maintenance workers were sent to investigate the rooftop water tanks. And it was there, floating in one of the massive containers, that they found her. Elisa Lam's body, naked and lifeless, submerged in the hotel's drinking water supply. The discovery horrified the public. How could she have gotten into the tank? The lids were heavy, the access restricted, the ladders difficult to climb. The roof itself was supposed to be locked, off limits to guests, yet somehow Elisa had ended up inside. The autopsy revealed no signs of trauma, no evidence of assault, no drugs in her system except for her prescribed medications. The cause of death was ruled accidental drowning, but the explanation satisfied no one. The internet exploded with theories. Some claimed she had been murdered, perhaps by someone staying at the hotel or even a staff member. Others pointed to the hotel's history of violence and suggested something darker, a supernatural force that lured Elisa to her death. Paranormal enthusiasts noted the eerie parallels between her death and the 2002 horror film Dark Water, in which a girl is found in a rooftop water tank of a haunted apartment building. Still, others focused on her behavior in the elevator video, convinced she had been possessed or driven mad by some unseen entity within the Cecil's walls. The more people looked, the stranger the case seemed. The hotel itself added to the mystery. Once a glamorous destination in the 1920s, it had fallen into ruin as the neighborhood around it became part of Los Angeles' infamous Skid Row. The Cecil had been home to Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker serial killer, and Jack Unterweger, another murderer who killed women during his stay. Countless deaths had occurred within its walls. Was it cursed? Was Elisa simply another victim of the darkness that seemed to permeate the building? Investigators insisted there was no evidence of foul play. They pointed to Elisa's documented history of bipolar disorder and suggested she had experienced a psychotic episode that led her to climb into the tank on her own. But her family rejected the idea. Her online followers refused to believe it. And so the debate raged on, each theory more elaborate than the last. Years have passed since that night in 2013, but the mystery of Elisa Lam endures. Documentaries have been made, books have been written, podcasts dissect every moment of her story. The Cecil Hotel has since been rebranded, renamed, its owners desperate to erase the stigma attached to its walls. But for those who know its history, the new name changes nothing. The building remains a monument to tragedy, and Elisa Lam's story is its most haunting chapter. To this day, no one knows for certain how she ended up in that water tank. Was it an accident, a moment of confusion and despair? Was she driven by a force within her own mind, or by something lurking in the shadows of the hotel? Or was it something darker, something beyond human understanding? The truth lies somewhere between fact and fear, between what the evidence shows and what the imagination whispers, and perhaps that is why her story continues to grip us. Because deep down we sense that the walls of the Cecil Hotel hold secrets that will never be revealed, and that Elisa Lam, in her final moments, glimpsed something that the rest of us are not meant to see.